Hey guys, Stephanie with AmericanMuscle.com here with my review of the BBK Off-Road Shorty X-Pipe, available for BBK long tube header equipped 1996 to 2004 4.6 liter Mustangs. So this one's pretty easy as far as who it's going to be for. The Shorty X-Pipe is going to be for the GT Mustang owners that plan on using BBK's long tube headers. Whenever you go from a Shorty or factory header setup to a long tube, you're going to need to change your mid-pipe to a Shorty mid-pipe. Now there are a few different options out there, but the general rule of thumb tends to be that you should not mix brands. So if you want BBK's long tubes, you should stick with a BBK mid-pipe. Long tubes and a Shorty mid-pipe go hand in hand since you need one to install the other, and usually those installing long tubes are looking for power gains and an improvement in sound as well. Long tubes and a Shorty mid-pipe have a different, iconic sound that's hard to ignore. And along the lines of gains, long tubes and a Shorty mid-pipe usually give mid-range to top-end gains, generally speaking. And you may not necessarily be installing long tubes and a Shorty mid-pipe for sound, but you are going to get a huge change in sound. The long tubes alone are going to change the sound of your exhaust, and when you combine that with changing the mid-pipe, you can expect a pretty big difference in sound here, and you're looking at a brand new sounding pony when you're done. But looking more at the mid-pipe itself, we're looking at a 2.5-inch mid-pipe that's going to work with the BBK headers. The X-Pipe is mandrel bent, which is typical in exhaust parts because the purpose of mandrel bending is to deliver smooth airflow. The smoother the pipe is, the smoother the air will flow, which helps with the velocity. Now there are a few different types of materials that exhaust components are made out of, and the material of the mid-pipe is really going to drive the price point. This mid-pipe is aluminized tubing, and that's what helps to keep the BBK components more price-friendly than some of the other options that are out there. So aluminized tubing has some upsides and some downsides as well. Like I already said, this type of material is going to be a more budget-friendly type of material. The sacrifice that you make here, however, is that the metal is prone to rust and have corrosion over time, especially if it sees harsh road conditions. But if you live on the West Coast or your car isn't a daily, then it's not going to be a big deal to you. If you're looking for a ride or die system that's going to hold up and be everlasting over years and years, then you're better off shopping for a 304 stainless steel system instead. This is an off-road X-pipe, meaning that it has no cats, and normally an X-pipe is going to give more of a louder, raspier sound as opposed to the deeper note of an H-pipe. Being catless means this X will flow more than a factory mid-pipe would for sure, and even more than a high-flow cat would. BBK does offer this same mid-pipe with high-flow cats if you want to keep some form of cats, but it is going to cost more, and I am going to say that it has high-flow race cats. That means that it might not pass emissions, they may not be legal, and there's always that chance of the check engine light. But speaking of the check engine light, when you switch over to running long tubes, you will need a tune. A tune here will not only help you get everything out of these expensive mods, but one of the main purposes of a tune with long tubes is to turn off the rear O2 sensor so you won't be getting a check engine light. Circling back around to price, you're looking at spending just under $200 for this X-pipe right here. Like I mentioned earlier, there is the catted version, but I will point out that catted mid-pipes or catted pieces of exhaust in general are going to cost more than an off-road version will. BBK's catted version costs more than double this off-road version does, putting the price tag on that mid-pipe at over $400. Also keep in mind that you won't be running this mid-pipe without a set of BBK's long tubes, so you can factor those into the price of this Shorty X-pipe. These items go hand in hand since you can't really install one without the other, which is another reason why long tube headers are pretty much an investment. So at the end of the day, you're looking at both power and sound gains here. Keep in mind that your gains will change depending on your setup and tune, and in addition to that, you're also going to get an awesome change to your exhaust tone. The install of the X-pipe alone is not difficult at all. It's just a basic mid-pipe swap that doesn't involve removing any other items or any cutting. But since you'll most likely be installing this along with those BBK long tube headers, you can expect a project. Because of the combo install, you can expect a full 3 out of 3 wrenches on this one and a full day in the garage if you do decide to tackle this yourself. If you don't have a helping hand or you don't have much experience in this area, it might be better to just take the car to a shop for the install. If you do tackle this yourself, just know that you can do it on a jack and stands, but a lift would make it easier for sure. Like I said before, the mid-pipe is easy enough to install. The difficult part will be installing the headers. You're going to need your toolbox for the install with an assortment of different sockets, wrenches, and extensions. A lot of this install obviously requires working in some pretty tight areas, so while everything is straightforward, getting access and maneuverability in these areas is actually tricky. Having a helping hand in this case is really going to benefit you, and it is a lot of work, but at the end of the day, I think it's all worth it. So wrapping this up here, the BBK Shorty X-pipe is going to be a must-have for anyone with a 4.6 liter Mustang that's looking at running BBK's long tube headers. It's an off-road aluminized steel X-pipe, and as always, I suggest you check it out more online for yourself. I'm Stephanie, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.